Hey guys, welcome back to the Business of Art. So as some of you may know, I am working on getting away from selling art on Etsy. So I actually haven't been putting up any new pieces for the last couple months or so. And I'm researching other places to sell my art that I'm not as familiar with, such as on my website, setting up an actual store on my website, or even like other art selling forums such as like Fine Art America and whatnot. I'm still in the process of researching that. In the meantime, how else can you sell your art? Well, in the past, I have very successfully sold art on Facebook. And I'm going to explain the ways. I've never actually sold a piece on Instagram, so I can't really help you there too much. I know how to build up your Instagram, but in terms of actually making sales, Facebook is where I have really excelled. So to start with, Facebook is a social media platform, and that really means that it is social. So this means if you were to just post a bunch of stuff without ever talking to anybody, you're not going to build up your crowd, and you're probably going to lose any fans that you may have had. So it's very important that you keep that in mind. It is a more close-knit group, it's very social. Now there is like places like Twitter where you don't have to keep that in so much, and they're all social media platforms are a little bit different. But I found Facebook to be a lot more intimate, and when you really communicate to people is when you're going to do the best. So things to do to just simply build up your Facebook page. First of all, make it look pretty. Have a good header photo, have a good profile picture, and fill out all of the about info. So that means, put a little bio in there and all that jazz. If you do not know the difference between a personal profile and a business profile, you need to take a step back and learn about that. You should have a business profile, not a personal one. They're very different. If people have to send you a friend request, then you have a personal profile, and you need to switch to a business one. People should just be able to like your page. So make sure everything is filled out. Make sure it looks nice and it's all ready to go. That's the first thing. Second step is to invite all of your friends and family to like your page. Now, don't do this if they express like that they hate art or anything like that. Do ask any people that would actually be interested in your art, or at least interested in supporting you. Invite all of those people. If you don't have a lot of friends, you need to start making some. But do invite the ones that you do have and your family members. Now, if you have some particularly close friends, you can ask them to invite their friends as well, especially if they're more social than you. That gives you an instant boost to building up your page. Now, the things that you should be posting on your page are obviously pictures of your art, art sales, giveaways and contests, other fun random things. Could be quotes, could be memes, questions for your audience, because what you want to do is you want to build a lot of interaction. So I would say don't ever post just a link to something. That is right there, it just cuts any form of communication. It's not a communication. But you could say, hey, I posted this new video that I really love, and I would love to know what you guys think. Please let me know. Post the link. That is a good post. Posting just the link, bad post. Will not help you. All right. I recommend posting at least once a day on there, if not more. If you can do more, then do more. But at least once a day is a pretty good amount to be able to build up your following there. You can use the schedule posts feature on there. And that, if you're really busy, that can help. But realistically, it takes about 5 seconds to post something onto Facebook. So you shouldn't even need to use that feature unless you have a bunch of social media pages, basically. But it is a feature there if you do need it. And otherwise, just post on your lunch break, or while you're getting ready in the morning, or before bed, or whenever. Just make sure that you do actually get those posts in and don't let it drop. Next thing is to reply regularly to everyone's replies to your posts. So if people ask you questions, answer those questions. If people say, oh my gosh, that looks amazing, make sure you go and say, wow, thank you so much. Because the more interaction you get on your page, the more Facebook is going to show your page to other people and to your fans. If people never interact on your page, then it doesn't matter how many fans you have. Facebook is not going to show your page to them. They're just not. It's their algorithms. They want pages that interact with their fans. So all of this is it's a building block to selling your art on Facebook. Okay, you need to make sure you actually have a page and it's built up and it's interactive before you even attempt to sell art. Now, if you do all of this well enough, you won't even really have to try. People will be asking you to buy your art. People will see you post a picture and they'll say, oh my gosh, I have to have that. How much? And there you go. So you shouldn't even have to, if you build up your social media page well and correctly, you shouldn't even have to have a sales. You shouldn't have to be like the most expert at sales. The artwork should sell itself. A small exception to that would be if your artwork just absolutely horrible, but that's pretty rare, and there's really a market for anything, even horrible art, and it's all subjective. Everyone has a different interest and opinion on art, so that's not even really so much a concern. In terms of actually selling art, once you've built up your page, of course you can post art and just say this is for sale, here's the information, here's the dimensions. I recommend setting up a designated folder, an album. You have your photo albums on there. So I recommend setting up a designated one for art for sale. And you can do that if you have different genres of art, like watercolor and stuff, do a folder for each one probably, especially if you have a ton of paintings. And in each one, add the description of the piece, including like the title, the size, the medium, and then the price as well as shipping. And then people will contact you to buy it. There isn't really a way to set it up as like a store where people will just click on the item and buy it. That's not really what it's for. So people would generally contact you to buy it. Another thing that I've done very successfully is art auctions on Facebook. And I used to do those once every few months, and they were a lot of fun and very successful. So what I did in terms of that is I would let people know ahead of time that I was doing an art auction. Then I would create an album specifically for that art auction. And in that album description, it would say, auction starts this date, ends this date. Each item has a minimum starting bid. The next bid after that must be $1 more or $5 more, however much you want to do. The winning bid will be notified immediately after the auction and must be paid for via PayPal, or however you accept money, via PayPal by this date. And then you can let people know the shipping policies, etc. Then you're going to add all of the photos that you want to include in the auction into that. In each photo, have that same description that you have in the album, including the start and end date and how people bid. Put the starting bid for that item. And I can do a whole video just on doing this if you guys want even more details. But put a starting bid for that item. And then once the auction is live, share it everywhere. And then it basically operates the same as a silent auction, in that people will go and they'll bid. And they'll have kind of these bidding wars on there, and it turns into a lot of fun. I generally will hold these for 2 or 3 days at a time, not an extended period of time. Just kind of short, but enough to get a lot of interaction on there. And I'll include maybe up to like 10 paintings in there. I wouldn't include like 100, but do maybe up to 10. So that is another way you can sell art on there. And a third way, that is going to be the final way I'm going to go over today, is on a live video. And you can do basically the same thing, like a live auction, just as if you were on any other platform like YouTube or whatnot. And you'll want to have a starting bid. You'll want to have a designated bidding time. So 2 minutes per item is generally what I do. You hold up the piece, you say, this is this size and this medium, and starting bid is this amount, and there you go. Set the timer for 2 minutes and you're off. The biggest thing is to make sure that your policies are very clear. You have to tell people exactly when they must pay you by. You have to tell people that they must pay the shipping if that's what you're doing. Like, you have to be really clear. You don't want any questions about it. So if you're doing anything like that, make sure you go over all the rules beforehand and it's super duper clear. All right. I know this video's had a lot of information, so watch it again if you need to. But basically, start by building up your Facebook page. Make sure you really communicate with people and you use it as a social media. And then there's 3 different ways on there that you can sell art via your Facebook page for free. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or if anything was at all confusing or if you need any expansion on any specific point. And I will see you guys next time.